Hello. Today is Monday, June 30th, 2025, and I missed getting this out yesterday, which is means we're a day late because I promised the podcast for Sunday. So I'm thinking actually of changing Sunday to a weekday because the weekends are just seeming too full. So today I want to talk about memoir versus fiction close to one's own life, a comparison. In some earlier podcast episodes, I explained why I chose the fiction genre close to my life for my two books, The Overlife, A Tale of Schizophrenia, and Three Kidnapped, Three Siblings, Three Furies, rather than memoir. In today's episode, I want to explore the comparison between memoir and fiction close to one's own life in more general terms. All URLs used are pasted in the episode description. Writing a memoir and crafting fiction inspired by personal experiences are two distinct yet overlapping creative processes. Both draw from the author's life, but they differ in purpose, approach, and execution. Below, we explore the key differences and similarities, offering insights for writers navigating these genres. First, truth and authenticity. What does that mean in a memoir? A memoir is rooted in truth, recounting real events, emotions, and experiences from the author's life. It prioritizes factual accuracy, though the author's perspective and memory shape the narrative. Readers expect authenticity, and deviations from truth, example, fabricated events, can undermine credibility. For example, James Fry's A Million Little Pieces faced backlash when parts of the book were revealed to be exaggerated. Now, let's look at that in fiction close to one's own life. Fiction, even when heavily autobiographical, is not bound by truth. Authors can alter events, combine characters, or invent scenarios to serve the story. This freedom allows writers to explore what-if scenarios or reimagine painful moments without adhering to reality. For instance, Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar mirrors her life but is classified as fiction due to its altered details and creative liberties. What's the key difference? Memoir demands factual integrity, while fiction prioritizes narrative over truth, even when inspired by real events. 2. Narrative structure. Let's look at memoir. Memoirs often follow a thematic or emotional arc rather than a strictly chronological one. Writers select specific moments to illuminate a broader truth or lesson, such as overcoming adversity or self-discovery. The structure is flexible, but must feel cohesive, often requiring the author to weave disparate memories into a unified narrative. Cheryl Strayed's Wild focuses on her Pacific Crest Trail journey to explore grief and healing, not her entire life. What about fiction close to one's life? Fiction allows greater structural freedom. Writers can manipulate timelines, introduce fictional subplots, or shift perspectives to enhance drama or pacing. The autobiographical elements serve as a foundation, but the story can diverge to meet genre expectations. For example, a novel's need for rising action or resolution. Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried blends his Vietnam War experiences with invented stories, creating a novel that feels true but isn't bound by memoirs constraints. Key difference: memoirs are closely tied to real events and often focus on thematic resonance, whereas fiction can prioritize plot and dramatic structure. 3. Emotional exposure. Memoir. Writing a memoir requires vulnerability as authors expose personal truths, flaws, and traumas. This can be emotionally taxing and may involve navigating how to portray real people, example, family members, who might read the work. Memoirs often aim to connect the readers through shared human experiences, as seen in Tara Westover's Educated, which details her upbringing and personal growth. Now, fiction close to one's life. Fiction offers a veil of protection. By fictionalizing characters or events, authors can explore sensitive topics with less fear of judgment or backlash. However, the emotional weight of revisiting personal experiences remains, and readers may still assume the work is autobiographical. Philip Roth's Portnoy's Complaint draws on his life but uses fiction to exaggerate and satirize, distancing the author from direct exposure. Key difference: memoirs demand raw honesty, while fiction provides a buffer, allowing authors to mask personal details behind invented elements. 4. Reader expectations. Memoir. Readers approach memoirs expecting truth and insight. They seek to learn from the author's experience or find resonance with their own lives. A memoir's success often hinges on its ability to convey universal themes through specific, authentic details. For example, Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings resonates due to its honest portrayals of race, trauma, and resilience. Now, fiction close to one's life. Fiction readers prioritize story over fact. They want compelling characters, immersive worlds, and satisfying arcs, regardless of how closely the work mirrors the author's life. However, autobiographical fiction can blur these lines, leading readers to speculate about the author's reality, as with Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms, which draws on his wartime experiences but is read as a novel. Key difference: memoir readers seek truth and connection. Fiction readers seek entertainment and emotional engagement with less concern for factual accuracy. Ethical considerations. Memoir. Memoirists face ethical dilemmas when portraying real people. Depicting family or friends, especially in unflattering ways, can strain relationships or invite legal issues. Writers must balance honesty with sensitivity, often anonymizing or consulting those depicted. Augustine Burroughs' Running with Scissors sparked lawsuits from individuals who felt misrepresented. Fiction close to one's life. Fiction sidesteps many ethical concerns by disguising real people as fictional characters. However, if the inspiration is too apparent, it can still cause tension. Writers must decide how thinly to veil real-life counterparts to avoid harm. For example, Thomas Wolfe's Look Homeward, Angel alienated his hometown by closely resembling real people and places, despite being a work of fiction. Key difference: memoirs require careful navigation of real-world consequences, while fiction offers more leeway, though not complete immunity. Now let's look at the similarities. Personal inspiration. Both genres draw heavily from the author's life, using real emotions and experiences as raw material. Crafting a narrative. Both require shaping raw experiences into a coherent, engaging story with thematic depth. Emotional truth. Whether factual or invented, both aim to convey authentic emotional experiences that resonate with readers. Self-reflection. Writing in either genre involves introspection. forcing authors to confront their past and identity. Choosing between the two. Deciding whether to write a memoir or autobiographical fiction depends on your goals. Choose memoir if you want to share your truth, inspire others, or document a significant life experience. Be prepared for emotional exposure and ethical challenges. Choose fiction if you want creative freedom to reshape your experiences, explore hypothetical scenarios, or protect your privacy. Be prepared to prioritize the story over the facts. Conclusion. Writing a memoir and crafting fiction close to one's life are deeply personal endeavors, each with unique challenges and rewards. Memoirs offer a platform for truth and connection, but demand vulnerability and ethical care. Fiction provides creative liberty and emotional distance, but requires balancing autobiographical elements with narrative demands. By understanding these differences, writers can choose the path that best suits their story and voice, creating works that resonate with readers while honoring their own experiences. Well, thank you very much for watching or listening if you're listening to the audio version. I'll keep you informed as to the decision I'm going to make on when I do the podcast weekly. It probably won't be a Sunday, though, but I will let you know.